Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sawadee ka. That's the only Thai language I can speak. Hope my pronunciation is correct. I really appreciate my colleague Rex for the presentation of Tmall. I enjoy the slides and presentation because from the presentation from Rex, I enjoy the colorfulness, the fanciness, the keywords I heard from Rex is about marketing, about branding, about the game and joy. So from my presentation about Alibaba.com, I will talk more about the certainty and trust, technology, and how we're going to empower the local SMEs to do business abroad. So I'm going to, first of all, probably follow the protocols of my colleague to do a little survey for the audience today. So how many of you already do export? Could you raise up your hand? Okay. And the second question would be, how many of you have already registered or ever used Alibaba.com? Could you raise up your hands? Okay. So it's very clear that the awareness about Alibaba.com is, compared to Tmall, is much lower. And I think that's why I'm here today, and I think I'm on the right place. So first I'm going to introduce a little bit about myself. So I'm Felix. I'm going to be in charge of a B2B business in Thailand. So my main mission is to help the SMEs, small, medium-sized enterprises here in Thailand to do e-commerce, to export by the technology, by the tools from Alibaba. And you know the mission of Alibaba.com, since 18 years ago, the mission of starting Alibaba is to help the business in everywhere to make it easier to do business, connecting the business everywhere. And that's why we are here today, not just help the business in China, but also helping the business around the globe. So my colleagues, Rex, talk about the branding, marketing, sales. And here for Alibaba.com, we're talking more about the certainty and trust. Because for cross-border business transactions, the certainty is the main issue. And to have a trust between the buyers and the sellers, we're going to have a connection. So that's a figure right now today by our platform. We have over 10 million active business buyers. And the other side, at the seller side, we have over 150,000 suppliers supplying to these 10 million active buyers. And in between, there are 300 million products listed on the Alibaba.com. So people always talk about Alibaba. Alibaba is not just a name. As from the group chart from Rex, we saw there are multiple business units within Alibaba Group. And for Alibaba.com, it's 100% focusing on B2B business. I'm going to explain a little bit what is the difference between Alibaba.com and Tmall from two perspectives. One perspective is we are doing B2B. It's a business to business. We'll connect business, like in Thailand, to the business, the wholesalers, the importers, the exporters, the retailers, the mass merchants in somewhere, the other parts of the planet. While for Tmall or Taobao, they are doing more in the business to consumers, that's the B2C business. Another perspective for Alibaba.com is we are doing global trading. So Tmall and Taobao is helping the merchants, helping the sellers to capturing the huge consumption power in China. And that's like 4.8 trillion US dollar. That's a huge market. But for Alibaba.com, we are helping the business to connect to the buyers like in the States, in Europe, as very traditional, strong buying countries. We are also helping the business to connect to the buyers in emerging economies like Brazil, like Russia, like India. And that's the potential place where we see the increasing demand in increasing rate that grow from our platform. That's why we have, till this moment, a presentation in over 200 countries, while we have 2 million storefronts from all the 150,000 suppliers around the globe. And there are 250 million buyers on our platform. If you ever try on the Alibaba.com, you click, you surf, you browse, you will find the language and the regions. We have 16 languages. And I'm going to elaborate a little bit later in my presentation how we're going to deal with the language, because that's a very key issue. We have problems in traditional trading business. We have problems with language. We have problems with the communication, and we are setting up, we are getting it through the channels. So out of the industry segments, we are covering already 40 plus industries. The top industries by our platform will be automotive and electronics. We have like the raw material, rubber plastics. We have electronics, consumer electronics as well. And for Thailand, the top-rated industry here, of no doubt, is food and beverage, F&B industry. And I think the audience here today is also in the right place. I'm going to share with you my insights, and I'm going to also share with you how and what tools Alibaba.com can provide for you to increase the possibility to expand your global business. And the last one is the ranking from Alexa. It's a statistics tools for the web traffic. So we rank #1 for the B2B platform in the world. So we come to the connection. Here I don't want to extend too much about how we connect, but instead I'm gonna do a little bit demo for the rich media, which is normally we have our products listed on the website, or you have products demonstrated by the trade fairs. That's a very normal way to have your products presented to the potential buyers. But for Alibaba.com, we can have the videos. It's not the same as a live stream as Rex just mentioned, because for the business buyers, they are serious buyers, and the decision loop is really long. And they need very precise information to make decision in a very strict and a serious way. And all the information here you will find is more concrete, it's more concise. And why we have the rich media product experiences, we can have the buyers attracted with the video. Because we find a trend of online transaction in the B2B side, even the buyers is getting younger, and they like to buy online. 1/3 of our business behaviors is from the mobile web platform, and the over 75% of the total buying volume will be under 100K, $100,000. You'll find this purchasing volume is getting smaller for export. The buying needs is segmented. It's not like 10 years ago, you're selling to Carrefour, Tesco, Kmart, JCPenney, all these kind of names. I've been working in the trading business for over 10 years, and I've been serving all the big box retailers for over 10 years, and I know their buying behavior now is changing. And that's why we're gonna attract the attention of buyers, which might not be the big buyers as compared to 10 years ago. And one of the methods, how we're gonna track it, how we're gonna attract them here in the platform is we're gonna have a tool to present to them in a concise way and attractive way. That's the tool we are developing right now by Alibaba.com to have the videos, that's one side, and we have also the other contents, the rich content to attract the buyers to the platform, to better present your product. And we have a marketplace interaction. So for the marketplace, people usually will come to a fair, like the TEDx fair, like the CES. For all these kind of fairs, we'll be presenting, but we'll be presenting more in a virtual way, which means we will have all of our registered sellers on our platform attending the virtual marketplace there. So on our marketplace, that's a community. There's a community of both buyers and the sellers to share information, to share the knowledge. And they can meet with each other. They can have the feeds from the buyers. So you will find, okay, oh, seems the time is pressing. The ticker is going faster than my speed. So talking about the languages for sourcing, every day there are a million products listed on our platform, and all these products are translated into 16 languages, which means once you have your products listed on the platform, the counterpart, it might be a US buyer, but it could also be a buyer from India or buyer from Japan. They will find your products in their local language. And that's the thing, we are solving the problem of communication, solving the problem of connection. And this one, I think all of you probably haven't seen this before. I think this is the first time to show this video. It's a real-time translation in multiple language. So once the buyer finds your products and interested in your products, he will just send you a message in his own language. And you can reply instantly. You can reply in your own native language, like in Thai or in Japanese, whatever language you use, and will be translated right away. So you will find there is no communication barrier in terms of doing trade. And we all know for the traditional trading business, one of the biggest obstacle is communication. We find lots of efficiency that are lost in transition. We find lots of efficiency lost in misleading. And for this kind of tool, you communicate with the buyers instantly with no loss of the efficiency and understanding. And aside from the messaging, you can also talk directly, which means you don't have to type even. You just talk on your mobile phone. It's like chat. You talk, and it will be automatically translated into the language that the buyer speaks. So that's the magic of technology, and that involves a huge amount of research and development at the back end that we are doing. So Alibaba.com, this B2B business, has been operating for over 18 years. Day one of Alibaba started up with Alibaba.com. And today is still here. So that's already amazing stuff, because in internet industry, you know, not many products can survive such a long time. Why this product, Alibaba.com, can still survive today and stand up here? It is because, first of all, we have a huge demand. We have 300 million products there. We have 150,000 suppliers there looking at us and help us to find the right counterparts, to find the right buyers for them. And second, we are keeping involving ourselves from the technological perspective, also from the view of the buyer and the seller. We are solving the problems in between, and to make it easier for both parties to do business. That's why there is the number 1 billion APIs is all connected to different applications, to different business. And the NMT is the Neutral Language Processing Unit that we are doing research and development. And this is the insights. So today, the information I shared is something that you're gonna dig out by yourselves. There's some trends, there's some of the power tools. You will find it never on the other platforms. Like the insights, it's also a place that people, buyer and the seller, can find the most trendy informations. They can find what is, for example, for the fruit industry, for the food industry, what's going to be the next trendy packaging, what's going to be the next trendy product mix, what's going to be the next trendy flavor in the next 6 to 12 months. So we know the buying loop of the buyers. Previously, like for the big box retailer, like Tesco, or I saw Tesco is here, like for Walmart or Kmart, their decision loop for the transactions over 1 year, 360 days. So for example, if they are gonna list your products, let me use the example of dried mangoes. I like it. So if they're gonna list the dried mangoes on their shelf this Christmas, which means the Christmas of 2018, they're gonna plan this merchandise category 1 year ahead, which means the end of 2017. So it's 1 year time for the suppliers to go back and forth, do material planning, material sourcing, raw material, finishing and production, shipment, payments. But for nowadays, we know the buying trend is changing, which means the buying decision can be made within a quarter, within a month, even or within 1 week, which means we need very precise information and we need to make responsive decision very quickly. That's why we have the insights. The insights here, we gather the experts from the industry. We gather the top-ranked buyers and top-ranked sellers to share the information. So by us, Alibaba.com, we are a platform. So we are not competing with each other, but we are providing a platform for the business to do their business more effectively. Here is a performance visualization. It's also a backend tool for the sellers. So if you ever have the chance to be the member of Alibaba.com, you will have a real-time visualization of your performance, which means you know who is perform better, which place you are in by your industry, like you're doing dried mangoes, or you're doing Durian crisps. So who is doing better than you, and how their performance are. You will find all this kind of information here, and here, you are not just competing with your neighbors. You are actually playing on the global platform. So that's the information we provide to the sellers to have them more prepared and to stay ahead of the competition. Here's another tool we are developing right now. So aside from the certainty, we talk about the trust. Just imagine a buyer from Germany. The German is very strict. It's always following protocols. When he is looking for some food stuff, he wants to know whether the product you listed on the website is true or not, whether it is your product or it's the product of your neighbors. Whether you're a trader, you are a manufacturing facility, or you are just brand owners. They want to know the information and the back end, and that's the trust. And the cost of building up the trust is huge. We have this kind of tools to have the buyers have the immersive experience of to see whether all this thing presented on the web is true or not, to truly reduce the transaction cost from the trust perspective. So trust, another trust. For the B2B business, we know it's not just like normal consumer behavior. I can buy one and test it out. If it is good, I will buy again. If it's not, I will just give up and try another supplier. For business to business, it's a one-shot game. So it's very serious. It's serious about whether this kind of relationship, because this relationship is established on cost. The cost of communication, the cost of transaction. The trust here is not just about validity of the information. It's also about the quality of the products, the quality of the delivery. That's why we are building the infrastructure to further strengthen our service. So for the last 19 years, you will find Alibaba.com. There are a huge amount of Chinese suppliers on the platform. And that's true. We have helped tens, hundreds of thousands of suppliers in China to grow them and get them strong and to export products to all over the world. That's why Made in China is a name everywhere. And now our mission here is to truly make it happen again in Thailand, to make the name Made in Thailand everywhere in this world. That's why we're building the infrastructure and trust bases here, not only from the base of information exchange, but also in the perspective of logistic networks and the customer and the VAT system. So payment is the issue for B2B. In terms of the payment, we know that online transaction is high frequency and a lower volume than the traditional one. But in terms of a high frequency, the transaction cost is high. So we're going to close the payment loop to work with our financial service providers, the partners, to make the payment transparent and reliable. That's why we are also working with the local financial providers to make it happen. This is very important because as for buyers, you can imagine whether I can make a 30% deposit, like $3,000 for $10,000 purchase order. Where should I pay this? And how I can be guaranteed my payment is in place and be received by the seller. But on the seller side, the seller will be also concerned about how I get the money, which way I can get the money at a lower charge, because the bank going to charge you. And the service here we are providing is not about payment, it's something about the guarantee, about the trust. And this protection mechanism, both for the buyer side and for the seller side. Talking about the connection, talking about the trust, we truly believe the world in the next probably 3 to 5 years will be a world that we can go and buy more easily, much easily. And that's the mission of Alibaba.com, to truly achieve a global buy and a global sale. And I do hope that the merchants and the sellers here in Thailand can go with us and grow with us. Last one, that's the app from Alibaba.com. We are unleashing new technologies, unleashing new products, new features almost every month. So do stay tuned with our products. And if you find my slides with the dried mangoes, that's my favorite Thai food. That's the reason I love Thailand. I like mangoes. And if you ever tried our applications or try our online platforms, you will know the features that I mentioned today. and you will find the opportunities there. And next time when I share my sessions, I do hope someone will share with me your success story with Alibaba.com. Thank you.